Welcome back to Figuring Out the Bible, the series where I go through the Bible one chapter at a time, give my thoughts and interpretation of it. Quick disclaimer, this is not at all an authoritative or educational show. This series is all about me just going through the Bible and trying to figure out what it might be about. Like I said, this is not educational, this is not authoritative. This is just for entertainment purposes, and so God's word can be spoken to the masses. Past that, enjoy. Today, we're talking about Genesis chapter 9, which is God's covenant or God's covenant with Noah, I should say, and also the continuation of sin through Noah, unfortunately. So, let's get into it. Then God blessed Noah and his sons, saying to them, "Be fruitful and increase in number, and fill the earth." So, we're seeing a continuation of the same kind of commission that the animals and Adam and Eve got: be fruitful and multiply. God said that to Adam and Eve, the animals, to the plants, all of it. Be fruitful and multiply. So that's a continuation of that. God said, this is a sign of the... Oh, wait. My bad. Getting a little ahead. The fear and dread of you will fall on all the beasts of the earth, and all the birds in the sky, on every creature that moves along the ground, and on the fish of the sea. They are given into your hands. Everything that lives and moves about will be food for you. Just as I gave you the green plants, I will now give you everything. So in the original Hebrew, that's all like a restatement of, I gave you all that stuff, and now I give it to you again. This is not when people started eating meat. People were eating meat before. Hence, the clean and unclean animals on the ark. So just keep that in mind. This is not the introduction of people eating food, or people eating meat. This is a restatement of what was already given, because the animals and all that were already set underneath man in the beginning. But here's where some new, shall we say, regulations are introduced. But you must not eat meat that still has lifeblood still in it, and for your lifeblood I will surely demand an accounting. I will demand an accounting from every animal, and from each human being too. I will demand an accounting for the life of another human being. So, if a human being is murdered, whoever murdered it, whether it be human or animal, they're getting punished by God, because that's murder. You don't murder people. We'll get to distinctions and that sort of thing later. Whoever sheds human blood, by humans shall their blood be shed, for in the image of God has God made mankind. As for you, be fruitful and increase in number. Multiply on the earth and increase upon it. So right there we're seeing the sharp juxtaposition. Whoever kills and all that, a human being, they will have their blood shed. They will be punished. And then it turns around and reiterates, be fruitful and multiply. Be life. Spread life. Create life. Don't take it. Then God said to Noah, and to his sons with him, I now establish my covenant with you, and your descendants after you, and with every living creature that was with you, the birds and the livestock, and all the wild animals, all those that came out of the ark with you, every living creature on the earth. I establish my covenant with you. Never again will all life be destroyed by the waters of a flood. Never again will there be a flood to destroy the earth. Okay, so that's the main thing that God is promising right now, is I will not send a world-ending flood. So that's the Noahic covenant, essentially. You follow me, and I promise I'm not gonna destroy the world with a flood. Keep in mind, with a flood. So Revelation and the end times, Armageddon, all that is separate. And even at that, it's not even in Revelation times, there will not be everybody dead. It will be a lot of people die. Like a lot of people are going to die, but not everybody. It's not going to be all life on Earth is dead. It'll just a lot of it. And God said, "This is the sign of the covenant I am making between me and you and every living creature with you, a covenant for all generations to come." So all the animals and all the descendants of Noah, which by the way is pretty much everybody on the planet, I have set my rainbow in the clouds, and it will be the sign of the covenant between me and the earth. So the rainbow is the covenant of the Noahic, or is the symbol of the Noahic covenant. That does not mean that this is when the rainbow was created. Odds are the rainbow was created, refraction, I should say, was created at the very dawn of time with all the other laws of nature. God just assigned the purpose to the rainbow. And it's fitting because, the rains and all that is what caused the floods. So whenever the rain comes, we will see the rainbow so that we know we're not going to get destroyed by a flood again. Here we go. I'm just going to keep reading. When I bring clouds over the earth and the rainbow appears in the clouds, I will remember my covenant between me and you and all the living creatures of every kind. Never again will the waters become a flood to destroy all life. Whenever the rainbow appears in the clouds, I will see it and remember the everlasting covenant between God and all living creatures of every kind on earth. So God said to Noah, "This is the sign of the covenant I have established between me and all life on earth." So again, we're really hammering down. It's not just humans. It's not just the people of Noah. It's every living creature on the planet. And then, so that's kind of the more bigger picture of what's going on. And now we're focusing in on one specific scenario with Noah's sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. The sons of Noah who came out of the ark were Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Ham was the father of Canaan. These were the 3 sons of Noah, and from them came the people who were scattered over the whole earth. Noah, a man of the soil, meaning like a farmer, proceeded to plant a vineyard. In other versions it says this is the first vineyard. So that's a pretty cool touch. When he drank some of its wine, he became drunk and lay uncovered inside his tent. So for me, I honestly see that as him and his wife, because what married man is going to get hammered, get drunk, and get in bed without his wife? Just let you fill in the blanks there. Ham, the father of Canaan, saw his father, it says, in other versions it saw his father's nakedness, which is actually his wife. So another reason why that. And I've looked into the Hebrew, that it tracks it. That it's his father's nakedness. And later on in Leviticus, I think it was, Leviticus 19, where was it? Leviticus 20:19. It says that a man who sleeps with his father's wife should be put to death because he has uncovered his father's nakedness. So, same word, tracks. So, Ham, the father of Canaan, saw his father's nakedness and told his 2 brothers outside. But Shem and Japheth took a garment and laid it across their shoulders. Then they walked in backward and covered their father's nakedness. Their faces were turned the other way so that they would not see their father naked. When Noah awoke from his wine and found out what his younger son had done, because Ham was not the youngest, Um, I'm starting to veer away from the NIV, not gonna lie. When Noah woke from his wine and found out what his younger son had done to him, he said, "Cursed be Canaan, the lowest of slaves. The lowest of slaves will he be to his brothers." He also said, Praise be to the Lord, the God of Shem. May Canaan be the slave of Shem. May God extend Japheth's territory. May Japheth live in the tents of Shem. And may Canaan be the slave of Japheth. After the flood, Noah lived 350 years. Noah lived a total of 950 years, and then he died. So there you go. There's that joke again. He lived 950 years, and then he died. If y'all have been following this series, you'll laugh at that because it's just honestly a funny running gag after a minute. Anyways, let's get on to the actual explanation part of this. So, what I've noticed is verses 1 through 3 is a parallel and renewal of the commission given in Genesis chapters 1 and 2. Be fruitful, multiply, subdue the earth, subdue the animals. You have dominion over all that. It's basically a restatement of all of those things. It's also, again, restating the dominion of man over the animal kingdom. Verses 4 through 7 are a prohibition from eating living creatures and people. So, like, cannibalism, I think, is also slightly implied there. I don't know, it's kind of weird based off just the wording. But it's definitely a prohibition on eating anything that it still has life in it. And probably blood also, because that's a big deal. Don't eat blood. It's also bad for you. It can make you real sick. So that's probably at least part of it. So don't eat living creatures, and then also don't eat creatures with the blood still in them. Which is why later on in Leviticus you see the whole process of, you slit its throat, you let it drain out all the blood onto the ground, and you let that blood go. Like, you don't want none of that. So that makes sense to me there. It's prohibition from eating creatures and even eating living creatures' blood, and from murder. And that's where I restate, God is saying, if you murder a human, you will be punished, whether you're man or beast. You will be punished if you murder a person. And then if you harm them, you will be harmed by humans. It's kind of pointing out that we have that natural proclivity to seek revenge. It's also kind of an early version of like an eye for an eye sort of mentality. The restatement to multiply, I already mentioned that. Verses 8 through 17 is the establishment of the Noahic covenant between God and all life on earth. Already talked about that. Already mentioned that. Overall, I did notice that there is a great deal of parallels between Adam and Noah, and then Noah and other people later on. Like, for example, the one singular Son of God or righteous man, that Adam and Noah were both righteous or godly people, sons of God, in a completely wicked world. Like, all the other men weren't godly people at that time that they were born. And because of that, all mankind stems from both of them. All mankind stems from Adam. He was the first of us, our particular breed of human, I guess. And then after the flood, the population was so decimated that it didn't take much for Noah's sons, to populate and then become fathers to literally everyone. So here's that kind of cool little touch there. Let's see. They both work the ground. Remember, Adam was set to tend the Garden of Eden. Noah was a vineyard owner. Well, I guess farmer. they both were tempted by the fruits of their own garden, and it's because of that temptation that they ended up falling. Adam was tempted by his wife with the fruit, and Noah was tempted and fell because of getting drunk off the wine. And because Noah, even though God wiped out all mankind and Noah was spared because of his righteousness, it still shows that there is plenty of sin in the world, and it's not going to go away. Verses 18 to 27 is the story of Noah's fall and the curse of Canaan. Noah got drunk and disgraced himself by laying uncovered in his tent with his wife. I mean, it's pretty shameful, and the word used when it says Ham saw his father, he saw his father in a disgraceful kind of way, you know. So Noah disgraced himself by getting drunk and laying uncovered in his tent. Obviously, like I said before, he'd probably have his wife with him, because what man is going to get drunk naked in his bed and not have his wife? Well, what married man is not going to do that and have his wife? I mean, half the single men in the world can't get drunk without ending up with some random woman in their bed. So, you know. So when it says that Ham saw the nakedness of his father, that's actually a reference to Noah's wife, because later on in Leviticus, it was 2019, it says that the nakedness of a man is his wife. If a man sleeps with his father's wife, he has uncovered his father's nakedness. So when it says that Shem and Japheth went in and they covered Noah and Noah's nakedness, it seems to me like Noah and his wife got drunk, passed out naked in their bed. Ham went in there, did a little something, Lot's daughters-ish, to you know, try and be polite about it. And because of that, Canaan was born. At least that's kind of how I'm seeing it. And when Noah woke up and discovered, or odds are, Shem and Japheth probably told him what Ham had done. Noah got mad, and that's why Canaan was cursed, because he was the well, there's lots of things that would have made Canaan something of an abomination in Noah's eyes. Now, let's go on to the curse of Noah. The curse of Noah is carried out in the conquest during Joshua's time. However, the curse itself was not very godly at all. Note, it is Noah that cursed Canaan, not God. God is innocent of that curse, and it is not a godly curse, because if it had been God, he probably I don't know. God might have cursed God might have cursed someone, but it wouldn't have been Canaan. If Ham is the one who did it, then Ham is the one who would have gotten cursed. Something like that. I could see God punishing people for. You know, clearly it's not a good thing. But yeah, that's generally why Canaan got cursed, is because he was the result of Ham doing his thing. And another thing I've noticed is we hear that Ham went and populated the area of Egypt and Africa largely, but what we don't see is anything after that. Like, we see his descendants, we see his Canaanite descendants, but we don't really see much of anything else. So, though that does mean that Pharaoh and all them were probably descendants of Ham. You know, the Egyptians and all them, they were probably descendants of Ham. It also means that the Canaanite people, all the nations of Canaan, were doomed basically from the get-go because of the curse of Noah. Remember what God says: whatever you loose on earth shall be loosed in heaven. Noah let loose that curse, and God followed it through. It followed through, and the peoples of Canaan were decimated, wiped out, enslaved. So prophecy fulfilled, I guess. Going on to Shem and Japheth, they both go and they have their own quite large kingdoms of their later on. But Noah exalts both of them at the same time as he's cursing Canaan. He exalts Shem and Japheth because when Ham did his thing, they did the opposite. When he took advantage of seeing his father's nakedness, they went in and they covered it up. They preserved their father's dignity, and they showed him respect and love and compassion and all that. Whereas Ham went in there, took advantage of the situation, and wrecked everything. Just to put it simply, he wrecked everything by doing that. He ruined his relationship with both of his parents simultaneously. He knocked up his own mom, which is utterly repulsive. He created, it's just a really messed up situation. This right here is right up there with Lot and his daughters. But let's make something clear. How do I say this? Ham should have been cursed. By all intents and purposes, Ham should have been the one to get cursed. He wasn't, though. It was Canaan. Ham, I kind of like the idea that Ham did not get cursed because he had already been blessed by God. It specifically says shortly before that God blessed Noah and his sons. So what God blesses, you do not curse. I think that's kind of what happened there. Because obviously it would have made more sense for Ham to get cursed instead of Canaan. So that's kind of where I fall on that. Is Ham didn't get cursed because he was already blessed by God. You don't curse what God blessed, and Canaan got cursed because he was the result of the, shall we say, awful deeds done when Noah and his wife got drunk. And presumably you could say this might have even, if Noah had the first vineyard, this very well could have been the first time anybody got drunk ever. So keep that in mind. It might have been a whole learning curve for all of this stuff. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed. If you have any alternative thoughts, comments, questions, let me know down below. I'd love to hear from you. One of my favorite things to do is to engage in conversations and debates and all that with people in the comment sections. I'd hope maybe I could even get inspiration for a couple new videos. So, thank you for watching. If you watched all the way to this point, I am so honored, and I will catch you later.